fellow Tarnish, welcome back. I'm Stubbs the Wizard, and we're doing a playthrough of Elden Ring. This is my first New Game Plus in Elden Ring. And so right now we've just cleared out the Gael cave. And we have some spots marked here we want to go. I have them exactly in the opposite order now, because I found myself over by Gael cave first. Yeah, so that was going to be my last, so I'm just doing reverse order here, but no big deal. So we're going to come up here to the Gael tunnel next. And the idea behind this character is that he's a high intelligence mage using dual wield staves. Pardon me. The dual wield staves of loss that, and it can all use night sorceries or invisibility sorceries. And there's the stats. We're going to be just pumping stuff into vigor for now, getting it up to 60. And there's the dual staves of loss, the misericord, which he's not allowed to do melee. I don't know whether it was a vow he made or what his deal was, but basically this is a challenge I put to myself. The misericord is only for criticals and knocking off the curse lichen on the mausoleums. Also maybe putting skeletons in a final death when they start glowing. But I can do that as a staff as well. The arrows reach talisman. I'll explain that in a moment, but here's just these increased sorceries, and this helps the charge spells with damage and so forth. So the reason we do the arrows reach talisman is that it actually affects some spells, which include ambush shard, which is one I use. Which is, it's a little weird because the ambush shard does not, where in the heck am I? We actually want to go this way. Breaking this party over here. The ambush shard is not buffed by the dual wielded staves of loss. It's, but it is buffed by the arrows reach talisman. Here's the party we want to break up. And I'm going to try to start sniping people. Being a sneaky... Okay, that's too far away. Wow, he's running. Would you run in a straight line, sir? What kind of butthole does not run in a straight line? Take that. Alright, let's get this guy. Oh, I'm out. I maybe should have rested before this. Well, I've had the same problem with this guy. There you go. I'm going to try to straight up night comet him. Maybe take out the others while I'm at it. I got two of them. That's pretty good. Pretty good efficiency. Take that, you pretend wizard. Oh, I'm gonna use his. I got your roa fruit. Ha ha ha. I don't know if I can get back up here. I don't know if I've usually come down this way to break up the party. Let's see what he's got. Anyway, as I mentioned, or maybe I only thought I mentioned and haven't mentioned yet, I'm sort of a philosophical mood, you know, and one of the things I was thinking about is free speech, and you know, as an American, that's sort of one of the tenets of our society is the free speech, but a lot of people misunderstand it, and oh cool, they're gonna go duel over there. Well, that's fun. I'm just gonna watch the chaos. I gotta touch the grace though. Where I forget that. I'm pretty sure the dogs are going to not survive it. That tank guy seems blissfully, like, not caring at all. Oh man, the tank guy's just getting pushed around. This is funny to watch. And my buddy, I'm not great, calls these, I think, dino dogs maybe, or Dogosaurus Rex. I don't know. They got the kind of shrunken arms like the T-Rex, and that's just what's great about fantasy games, I guess. I might go ahead and take on Fort Gael now that these. I don't understand why this guy isn't doing anything. I guess they killed that dog. So we're going to go stab him real quick. But so the free speech, a lot of people misunderstand that, and the idea of free speech is it's not that you're free from consequence. It's that you're free to say what you want to say without fear of, you know, being arrested or something for what you're saying. And a lot of people misunderstand that, and they look at it as, you know, free speech, I shouldn't get in trouble for what I say, you know. And I can't, well, no, that's not free speech. What is this guy over here? Oh, so I'm not great theorized this guy was taking a crap over here. There you go. Pinch off your loaf on your own time, brother. Well, hello. There's more of you guys, huh? Ouch. So anyway, I was thinking about that, the idea of free speech, and the idea is that the government can't get you in trouble or arrest you or whatever for improper speech, and it's a little harder to implement than or do than you might think. Okay, so this guy is really hard to hit, so I am going to actually use I made miss when it comes back around. When I start seeing it there getting ready to come around, I'm going to cast this. And then that'll be an easy way to do it. Rather than trying to swing, you swing and swing. I'm really not that great at hitting these things. So we'll wait for it. And, yeah, so with the free speech, you're allowed to say whatever you want. You're allowed to criticize the government. You're allowed to say anything. I missed. What a dolt. I waited too long. I started talking. That happens. So you're allowed to say whatever you want, and really you're allowed to have hateful speech. Whatever speech you have, it is allowed, and the government can't come after you for speaking negative How is that not hitting it? Well, this is awful. I thought I had a good plan here. I'm going to cast it even earlier now. I'm just going to keep it going. And anyway, so it's actually that really ugly speech that's what needs to be protected, where the government can't decide, well, that's not appropriate to say. There we go, we got it. Ash avoid the red veins. Now over here, these guys, I like to get a duel started between them and the dog, because I think that's just fun. There they go. Well, he'll run. Eventually, this he'll get tired of the guy shooting at him. So we'll let this play out. Keep it fair. I don't like that guy. Not even aware I'm here. There's usually something here, but I guess not this time. I may have already gotten it. So, so continuing on that thread, there's people will get in trouble for stuff they say, and they'll complain, well, what about free speech? Well, okay, you're not going to jail. You're allowed to say it, but the people are still allowed to not like what you say. They're allowed to sue you for what you say. They're allowed to call you mean names, you know, whatever. You can't, in other words, it doesn't mean you can just say whatever you want without any consequence. It just means you can say whatever you want without going to jail for what you said. Now, there are obviously exceptions, like if you are leading violence or whatever, you know, there's things like that. And, you know, inciting riots, like yelling fire in the theater. Now, but that's not illegal. You can yell fire in a theater if there's a fire, right? So there was no... Okay, I'm going to do this later, because once you start down here, the only way out is through. So we'll come back to this, which means I have to try to do all of Fort Gael without resting, which is, you know, probably silly on my part. I just got rambunctious. And one of the things that I was thinking about is someone, I don't remember who it was. I think maybe it was a subscriber, maybe it was just someone in my life. I don't remember who exactly, but they brought up Alex Jones and how he said these hateful things and about one of the school shootings, and he had opinion of things, and clearly not a very popular opinion, which it shouldn't be. But the best way to stop that kind of speech is to let it be said, and then what happens is you get, it exposes it for the stupidity that it is, and when you try to censor it or otherwise stop it from being said, you know, like shut the person up, make it, I don't know, illegal for them to say it or whatever, then that's when people start thinking, ooh, well, maybe there's something to it, because they don't want him to say anything. And so with Alex Jones, I think it was completely appropriate that he said these stupid things, and he got himself in trouble. And I think he got I mean, I'm not up on all the news on him, but he got a lawsuit that the people won for defamation or whatever, for spreading lies, which were found to be dangerous for the school shooting. And but the thing is he was free to say that, and people were free to sue him. People were free to ridicule him, and that's the nature of free speech. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, and they're allowed to have stupid opinions. They're allowed to say stupid things, and then suffer, suffer the consequences of what they said. So I'm one of those that are against censorship. I don't like it, but you know what? I love that view. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. But I don't like it. I don't really like censorship. My thing is, let them say their stupid things, and it exposes their stupidity, is what it does. And you go from there, and that way you get a better idea of different ideas, and you can find out what's stupid and what's not by having a fair debate. Anyway, that's my philosophical rant for today. So there you go. And I'm going to take out these two things. I almost always fail at this and jump over them or something, but I'm going to do my best. And all those flame guys will come to life. So let's give it a go. Got him. So you can critical him. Right like that. And this guy's gonna throw a hissy fit. That was his friends were killed. So I need to get around here. Critical him. And critical him again. I don't want this guy to blow me up. Stop it. Alright, got them both. Boom, the efficient wizard. Alright, so we're going to finish up. We'll go ahead and finish up Fort Gael and call it an episode. So anyway, thank you for indulging my philosophical sort of rant. It was very important that I think we understand these things. And at my business, if someone said something, very offensive to my client, I would fire them if they said to one of my clients. And people might be, well, what about free speech? Well, they're not going to go to jail for it. Uh-oh, got him. They're not going to go to jail for it at all. But they have consequences for what they said. And so that's the important thing. And so I would be, I don't mean this in a political way at all, because I don't want to engage in political discourse too much on the channel. Really, it's people want to see gameplay. And it's like Michael Jordan said when they always ask him to make statements, political things up, and he's like, no. And they're like, why? He said, well, because both Democrats and Republicans buy shoes, And, that's a little tongue-in-cheek. But there's, if people are tuning in to watch gameplay, there's no need to get political. But it is an interesting thing to me going on with, you know, um, just the weird political stuff going on in the nation, which is the United States, is what I'm talking about. And with all the vision and stuff, and it's okay to have debate and so forth. That's fine. And when you talk about the rights you have, there's just differences of opinion. There's those that think rights are basically enumerated, like you have a right to this, you have a right to that, and so forth. And that's one method of thinking. I think it's a little tiresome to enumerate all your rights. Hello. Well, there you are. Take that. And I am what would be called a classic liberal, or I guess you could say a Jeffersonian liberal, something like that, where people that think like me, we look at rights in a negative sense. And let me explain that. It can be a little odd to think about, but basically, we, like a classic liberal, holds that you have the right to do anything you want to do until it infringes on somebody else's rights to do whatever they want to do, right? So I have the right, even though it's not enumerated, but I have the right to swing my fist all over the place until it connects with your face, because you have a right to not be hit in the face. And so you don't need to enumerate that. And that's really, in my opinion, what governments are for, is to enforce the rights of others, sort of protect us from each other, if you will, or give us a way to redress with each other, hope without resorting to violence, and protect us from other governments and things like that, like enemies. But we don't need the government to protect us from ourselves. So that's the idea of a classical liberal, which, let's see who dodges this. See, now he should not be dodging the night spell. He's not, but I also can't reach him. Let's go see what this guy's doing. Hiya! Take it! Alright, so we'll come over here. We'll come here. We should be able to reach him from here. Surely. I bet you did not know his name is Shirley. It's so funny they won't dodge this. There you go. One lying down. Anyway, that's one of the confusing things with society today. I'm not really one for labels and things like that. But it gets confused because if I say I'm a liberal, I'm not Democrat or Republican, I guess the closest thing, if you're going to label me, would be libertarian, but, I'm my own person. I think my own way. And it is what it is. Oh, here's this guy. What do you got, brother? Oh, I'm about out. Oh, you don't have much. Boom, take that. The Night Comet is almost unfair. They can't dodge it, but also it doesn't take into account any shield or armor, as far as I can tell. I think all the comets might be that way. But anyway, the thing is if you say, well, I'm a classical or Jeffersonian liberal or something like that, we are not going to take this portal. That goes to Redmond Castle. We're not ready for that yet. A lot of people in the modern mindset understand that, and because they will confuse it with what's called social liberalism. And those tend to a more sort of, if you want to say, Marxist type um, mindset, that sort of thing. It's in your hands, Sir Jaren. All right, great. Well, Fort Gael's done. Well, not yet. Not yet. So I have to mention my buddy I'm Not Great was doing this, and I don't think he ever opened the gate to this. And you do it over here. First of all, let's find this down here. I think there's something down here anyway. Woot, 10 mushrooms. Can make my salad. And here's where you open the gate. Then we'll go down here. Choop. Let's see what we got in here. Anyway, like I said, I was in a little bit of a philosophical mood, and we're talking about free speech and like political outlooks and things like that. And what we need to do is people we disagree with, that's fine. That's who you need to talk to. And maybe you need to change how you think a little bit. Maybe they need to change how they think a little bit. But you can't do that if you won't talk together, and try to make things better. And I know some of that might be borderline naive. But when you look at someone like me, and I'm not really that unusual, I don't think. We look at classic liberal where we don't really, we look at our rights in a negative sense, like we can do whatever we want, don't tell us what to do, until we would infringe on somebody else's rights, and then obviously tell us what to do from a governmental standpoint, as opposed to other sort of, I guess, philosophical ways of thinking or political ways of thinking. They enumerate the rights. Look how beautiful that is. And this is actually one of the problems, the arguments that the Founding Fathers had against some of the Bill of Rights, was that the classical ones, they didn't want the rights enumerated. They're like, why? Because then you're going to get into the thing where only what rights are enumerated are the ones that are valid. And so anyway, and this is interesting because Jefferson and Adams, both great founding fathers, of course, they were on opposite sides of the argument on this. They both helped found the country, but Adams was more about restricting the population with government, whereas Jefferson was more about you use government to enforce people not stamping on other people's rights, things like that. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I've worn myself out philosophically. I better rest here too. So I appreciate you guys watching, and next one I'll be a little less philosophical. But there you go. We're part of or I am part of a group of creators in YouTube. We do gaming and have voiceovers and so forth, and I'll give a shout out this time to Iris. She's going through all sorts of games. Very, very good player. Her channel is Iris Xenophrus with an X. So it's IRISXenophrus. So go out, check out her channel, see what you think. Subscribe, like them, view them. It'd be great. And I'm going to work on doing like my buddy I'm Not Great does, and putting, I think it's a good idea, put all that in the description. It's a little bit harder for me on the PS5, but that's just an excuse, I think. So when I get the time with my computer during the week, I'll start getting that in the description to link to everybody. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me on this. It's a little bit longer one, but we got a lot done. And please click a like and subscribe to the channel if you would. I would like comments. I always appreciate those. I feel like some of the philosophical stuff I talked about might cause some comments. Maybe not, though. You know, I don't get political on these, but you know, I was feeling my oats today, I guess. But anyway, the comments would be great, and I'm open to all of them, and I'll read them all, and I'll respond to everybody. And I thank you for watching, and as long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. Thank you.